Welcome back to Seaside Reads with Arlene. This is a special edition homeschool special for you guys. I know you're thinking, wait, I thought you moved away from it. So if you know me since Arlene and Company days, I have, and I moved away to just book content and paper things. But this is in the gray line. However, this is my girl Megan's Schoolnest planner launch. I will never stop doing this. So I will always come out of homeschool content creating retirement to share this with you guys. So let's do this. I have quite a bit to show you. So you're most definitely gonna need a snack. You're gonna need some, maybe like a full meal. Grab some paper, take some notes. Launch is coming soon. I'm hoping to get this up hours before the launch happens. Cross your fingers, I have no tech difficulties, but I'm hoping that's the case. If not, it's gonna be up right on launch day. So I have the new handmade edition collection for this year, and it's giving me all the whimsical story-like Once Upon a Time vibes, hence the name of this video title. So let's do this. I also have a quite extensive pen test that we're going to do as per usual towards the end. There are going to be timestamps down below if you're looking at just one particular planner or something that I'm sharing today. So let's get to it. Let's do this. Hey friends, I have the new collection that she graciously sent over to me so I can share with you guys and keeping tradition alive. I have something brand spanking new. So I'm going to do a little housekeeping of commonly asked questions that I get with every single launch. If you want to skip this whole intro and go straight to the first planner, we're going to go ahead and give you those timestamps down below. You can go ahead and do that. But if you're new to the whole world, let's do a little housekeeping. How about that? Okay. All right. So this is the newest release. This is a 6x7. As you can tell, this is a different profile size than the rest of the planner. This is not the homeschool planner. This will be my ideal size for a homeschool planner. So I always get her in trouble when we do these things. Let's vote. You guys, we need the smaller planner, especially us with the older kids. We need the smaller planner. You know, not because we have less things to write, but because we need the portability of it. We just need like smaller scale. All right. So I love this. I do feel like a lot of people are going to use this as a homeschool planner, but this is a personal planner. These are undated. This is with the premium paper that she has in her shop. This is not the Amazon collection. That will be shared first, especially in her group. I will link the group in Facebook if you want to join that. She also does Q&As and things like that in there, and tries to help you out as much as possible in your decision. Okay, so these are the two covers that will be on Amazon. The paper quality will not be the same because those are printed by Amazon. The Amazon planner is approximately 55-pound paper. We say approximately because they're printed by Amazon Printing, and she has zero control on what region prints it for you. But I know a lot of people rely on the Amazon ones, and she is still offering those, and you can still find the older ones as well. And there is tweaks that happen from the inside of the layouts. There is a new layout that I'm going to share with you guys today, a new option. So there is more than just the personal planner. There is a new option that is being offered in the homeschool lesson planner as well. So one of these on Amazon will be designated as the biggie, which is the one with the daily pages, and one of them will be the minimalist planner, and that will be announced via email and also in the group, so you guys know which one will be which. Anywho, so here I have tons of notes as per usual. 6th launch. So we've been doing this together for a while. This paper is 70 pounds, 104 GSM paper. This is printed by her, handmade. We have the late flat binding, and we have coil binding. These are two of the options. There is also the unbound option. You won't see that as far as I know at this time that I'm thinking of it. You won't see the option of unbound, but it is something that she will do if you need it to be unbound because you're going to put it on a disc, or you're just going to coil yourself because you're going to do something wacky, whatever with it. What you will have to do if you want it unbound is, as soon as you place the order, send her an email. Make sure you put it in the topic, unbound, your order number, so it grabs her attention right away, and go ahead and put that you would like it unbound, no coils, or not lay flat either, and that could be an option for you as well. So the options that you have that you can select once the orders go live is the lay flat binding. So this is going to look to you similar to the Amazon one, but they are different, and I have series of videos, and I have one from last year side by side from the Amazon copy and the copy from her shop. And you can see them side by side, all the things, and you can see that in the links down below. So this is the lay flat binding. As you can see, it lays completely flat. No need to beat it like I normally did, but if you saw my Instagram post, you already know that I was not going to listen to that. I was going to still stand on it. I did a little ballet because, traditions must be kept alive. Usually there's two different options with the paper color. Some covers would have the stark white color, bright white paper, and the other one would have creams. Both designs this year have the cream paper, so there's no confusion or anything like that. Both have the cream paper, which is actually my preference, but both of these have the cream paper. You're gonna have different layout options, which I will show you those things side by side as well, so you can take a look at that. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on that because I have rehacked that a million times. Now, keep in mind that I get my copies obviously before they're even live, so there may be some tweaks and changes, and the ones I already know about that have been changed, I will note it in this video. So if you notice that your copy is slightly different on some, a couple of things, that's why I kind of get the first draft and there's always a change. And it's, if I got one that it was the final one, it would just not be, it wouldn't be right. All right, so this is the 6x7 interleaved version. Okay, I know so many of you, I like all my months in the front. I love that. So for years, she has gone away from the first planner, the Golden Bouquet one, where it had the months in between. This time, friends, this layout has the option of the grids, but with the months in between and the months and the weeks in between. So I'm going to show you how that looks like. So it's not all in the front. So this is the minimalist. This is the minimalist, so you can see it's not big chunky one. The difference is going to be that these don't have the daily pages. Now in this particular layout, they also don't have a weekly overview page. So if you want your months in between, you lose that part, but it's fine. I'll show you. All right, so you have these beautiful end papers. I love the whole whimsy of it. It feels very story book-like. I just love that. So these are the handmade edition, as I shared with you before. I have 4 book lists in here. There's 6. She made that change, so she actually increased that. So just a couple little tweaks and changes that you'll see a little bit different. So if you're keeping exact counts of everything, just know that mine was very, very early edition. So I'm not going to spend time in reading the table of contents like I normally do. I'm just going to show you. All right, so the next 2 pages, you have the vision board with the grid. I love grid pages. I prefer them over dot grid. I cannot write straight to save my life, so grid is my friend. Grid or line, I'm happy. Don't let me just float away. All right, so this is a vision board. You can do all kinds of things if you like with it. Then you have some blank pages to follow. Before, she gave you a lot of titles, even though she had blank pages as well, but they were with a certain intention. Here is more open-ended, which I do like that because everybody uses their planners so differently at different stages of their homeschooling journey. Then you have calendar pages. Now you wonder sometimes why you have 2. They can use it in several different ways. Sometimes what I do is I take away the calendar on the second one and I use it to plot like field trips and things like that. Some people are required to do attendance, but you have other options for that as well. And she does have designations for events, adventures, and things like that in these pages as well. But you can always change the labels because these pages are essentially the same. There's a lot of openness throughout. In years past, I want to say that this had grids in the back. I do miss that. I do know that some people like the cleaner look, and it does look pretty. I just still don't mind having that light grid behind it. So that is something that I just noticed right away. And just to note, like the covers is smooth. If you get anything on it, it just kind of like just wipes right off. I fail to mention that just in case you're new to the planners. They do feel slightly, not slightly, they do feel very different from the Amazon planners. Now the Amazon planners have like this velvety kind of smooth feel to it. It leaves a lot of fingerprints. If you can see, if I would to do that, and I can do a side-by-side like over on Instagram and stories if you guys request that, it doesn't leave an imprint in this cover versus the Amazon ones do. Like you could just like rub it a little bit and it's gonna leave an imprint, but even the Amazon wipes right off. Then you have multiple trackers, and this is where you can use if you are required in your state or region to keep attendance, or you can track something else. Maybe you're tracking reading, maybe you're tracking whatever it is. Progress trackers, this has been something that people have debated about whether they use it or not, but I am so glad that she still kept them in here, especially in the earlier stage, elementary, even into middle school. I still tracked curricula that had lesson numbers, and it was really nice to visually see like where we were at. So if there was 180 lessons or if there was 36 lessons, I can visually see our progress throughout the year. And she gives you several of these. So you have ones that are number, and then ones that are more open-ended in case, you know, it looks a little bit different to you. Then you have the book list, and I've historically have written these per term. So I've always used at least 4, and the extra 2 I've used for future planning. So mine has 4, but it's going to have 6. Because she did up that. So she has I love the illustrations has changed slightly. As you can see here in the bottom, they kind of have a little bit more curvature to it, a little bit more bubbly. I love the look of this. This is probably my favorite bookshelf look that she has done. I really like this. I dig it. So we're gonna be coloring those, or you don't have to, but they're there for your amusement. All right, so lists and plans. Historically, I have always used these pages for curriculum planning or tracking. So if once I knew like exactly what our final curricula choices were, it may change from one semester to another, because if we're, especially now that we're in the high school stage, we have curricula that we use one term for semester long classes, and then to different ones that we use on the next term. And then it could be per child. So if you have multiple kiddos, you can definitely hold that. And if you're interested in seeing how people that have even more kiddos than I do, I have 2. There's families that do this with 4 kids, more 6 or whatever, and they have all kinds of interesting ways that they make this work. And they have a whole album in the Schoolnest Facebook group that you can just take a look for inspiration. All right, so you have the list and plans. There's not much changes to this pages at all. A little bit of the font changes. And then you have your monthly spread. This is nice grid, and your pages are numbered, by the way. So if you wanted to use one of these beginning pages as a index, you totally could, because the pages are numbered like here you have, and I know that I'm just gonna note this for you guys because I know that some people miss it if you don't look closely. If you look closely, we're gonna get right up in there. There is a box right here to put the numbers in. So I know a lot of people try to like create in something and they totally miss that there's a lightly little grid to put the numbers, or stickers if you have number stickers. There's also a little nameplate on the top already designated for you. You can see there's grids here, but then this is opened with separated boxes for your days of the week. So I just wanted to note that, especially if you use stickers or anything like that, that it's already there. So you don't have to try to reinvent. I know people would write it here or there, like not noticing that that was there. So I'm zooming in there for you guys so you can see that that's there. You also have a little space here for the notes, and that's typical for her. We'll talk more about the coils in a second. As you can see, I have been able to smoothly turn everything over. Nothing has gotten stuck. This is a more of a flexible, but not too soft. I've had planners that I've reviewed here in the past that you kind of just completely bend it. Yes, I'm gonna smack the heck out of it. I am not gentle when I do reviews, okay? So plan and reflect sheets. This is your monthly spread that you can look for days 1 to 31 here on the side, and you can jot down any appointments, any overview that you need to do monthly set. And then you go into your first week. So this is the 6x7, so you have 6 boxes across, and then 7 about this planner is that if you have your planner closed, you don't have to go back and turn this way to see what subject it is. So here's your subject boxes, or however you divide it, here's your subject boxes. Or if you write your dates here and then you do it that way because you plan differently. That's the nice thing about undated. Now, I always struggle with undated planners. I've always been perfectly honest about that. My ADHD kicks in and then I mess up somewhere, and then I'm just like, I can't touch you right now because I messed up. So if you're a vertical planner, most people will write their days of the week here and then go down. If you're a horizontal planner, they would flip that and then put the days of the week on here. Either way, even nobody really homeschools 7 days a week. I hope you don't, but you can go ahead and do that. But even if you're using this as your all-in-one planner, you still have room to get all these things done, even with the layout of 6 boxes across and 7 down. But anyways, you can always see what the subjects are on both sides. So that is easy for you to do. There is also the little grid on here on the side where you can use it as a check off, or maybe a lesson number, like to write small, or any little tiny little detail that you want to write on that line. Especially if you have, let's say, multiple children and you're writing a line, let's say for child A has math lesson 27, child B, whatever, and then you can write the letters here. So let's not necessarily a check mark. It doesn't have to be a lesson number. It could be maybe your child designation, and you can color code it. You also have the bar on the top, which I still appreciate that that's included, which you can circle here the month, highlight through that week, and then put the year. So you continue with this, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I love that because it's an undated planner. Some months are gonna be longer. So there is 5 on here, and then your next month. So you notice a difference. Your months were not in the front of the planner with all the weeks at the end. So that is this specific layout. And then it repeats. Then you have the plan and reflect for the month. Notice that you didn't have an additional weekly overview, but I think with all this here, I honestly don't see the need for that extra page. So I do agree with that loss of that weekly overview in this particular layout. If you must absolutely have all that extra space, I will show you the next planner that has it a little bit differently. All right, so this continues. Okay, so once you reach the last week, then you're going to have some blank pages and then your thank you note. And look, okay, so once you made the first one, my number was in the single digits, okay? I think it was number 2 because I think number 1 was her. I don't even remember. Can somebody remind me, like, if you've been following my videos for a while? And then you have the pretty end pages and the end of the planner. So that is the 6x7 option with the interleaved pages. That is a new option for this school year. So Awesome sauce. Let's go on to the next planner. Okay, you're still with me, friends. All right, so planner number 2. This is your next option, and this is the lay flat version, but you can get whichever cover you like, this one or the other one, in either the flat lay or the coil, or like I said, if you email her right away with your order number, you can get an unbound as well. So this lays completely flat. No need to beat it, but tradition. We're gonna do it anyways. And this already has taken a beating. Before I even did all this opening and filming of this part, I've already danced on it. I was in Susu, I did elevate, I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I nearly like broke a hip trying to balance on top of the 4 stacks of book, with this one being the top one, because it's a lot smaller, and I didn't realize, you know, balancing on the smaller space, that was going to be challenging. Anyways, this is Barn Swallows. This is a flat lay 7 columns, so it goes down, and it has, to me, versatile lesson planner layouts, because especially as your kiddos get older, you don't necessarily need that much space. For example, let's do this. You don't necessarily need this much space for a math lesson, and you may need like 2 spaces full for English or whatever. So with the 7 column, you can dictate where that line ends, okay? So that is one of my favorite things. She came up with that layout in the weekly planning layout, and I'm so glad that it's now as a designated homeschool planner layout as well. All right, so you have this beautiful grid paper, which matches the notebook I have here, upside down, of course. And you can get all kinds of companion notebooks to match your planner. So like, don't sleep on that, because those are always fun. This is the 7 vertical columns. That's how you know you have the correct one. Again, if you zoom in on this has a couple of changes. So mine has 4 book lists, but is going up to 6 4 book list pages, but like 8 list pages, but it's going up 2 pages if you order it after me, obviously. Same thing, vision board. So we're gonna just go quickly through this. It's just so you can see the different binding. And like I said, this is a very, very pretty cover. You have butterflies, flowers, kind of like just like whimsical garden type of vibe. I love the feel of this year, and there's always a very specific feel. And I'm always able to tell what the direction she was going with, which I really find so much fun. All right, so as you can see, I'm just showing you in real life how you're gonna work it in with the beginning pages to lay them flat. So if you're seeing like, oh, but it's definitely like that, this is all true lay flats. You're at the beginning of the book, you have to work it in a little bit. So same layout, events, adventures, trackers, progress trackers, book list. So all this is the same. List and plans. Then you have month, plan and reflect. Okay, we're gonna beat it afterwards. Ha, much better. All right, and then you have month, plan and reflect, month, and that it keeps going for 12 months. So this is the other way you can get this. The other layout that I show you, that's the way to get the months in between. This is how it has been coming. So we get past all these months, and then we get to our first week. We're getting there. All right, here we go. All right, so now if you must absolutely, kind of went a little far, but it's okay. If you must absolutely still have this page, you would need this layout. Okay, and you can get this in the 7 column or the grid. That's the different one too. So you can get this one in 7 and the weekly overview. I love this layout. I think this one is the best one you get. You have the boxes here, which you can designate whatever you like. And then you have here for habits. right? So if you've never seen that kind of layout before, that's for habits. You designate here what week you are. So if you're keeping track of how many weeks you're doing school, let's say you required to do 36 or whatever, or you surpass that, you can keep track right here. But the habits, love that. All right, so for those of you that do not want to miss out on the weekly overview page, getting this layout, you would lose that, okay? And that's just how it works out with how she needed to make room for doing that. So this is the this one's called 6x7 interleave. And then you can get the 6x7 regular that looks like that, like this. This is the 7 column though, so it's a little bit different. So this is the column. This is my bestie. Same thing, weekly plans. Then you have the month that you can go ahead, highlight or circle. Then the dates and year. And then you have a big long bar here and then individual boxes here. So the idea is that these are your days of the week. Here's your subjects. I mean, if you can flip it if you like, it makes more sense to me that you use it vertically, this planner. But let's say you only need this much space for your math, then you draw the line right there. And then this is what happens, especially as your kiddos get older. You need like this much space for a certain subject, or you need this much. Like when they're younger, you have like how many components to teaching English for language arts. So you may need more space. So I like this layout. I think it works really, really well. Same thing, little grids in there that you can use as check off designations for lesson numbers or kids or whatever not. And this continues on, weekly overview, then your weekly pages. All right, so what would change in the other option is that you would have grids like this. You would have the grids like this if you want this, but with the months at first, like at the beginning. I know what I'm saying. Like perimenopause just like kicked in and just trying to steal my words. Here we go. At the end of this planner, it looks the same. You have some note pages and your little thank you page, the end paper, and the back cover. Introducing Buttercup. So this is your plan and journal. So this is not homeschool specific. So if you're always wanted a Schoolnest planner that you can use separately, not have it all into your homeschool planner. I've never liked having my personal plans with my homeschool planner, especially because I use my homeschool planner for annual evaluations and things. I don't need my evaluator seeing our personal things. So this is your friend. So you have this pretty cover, and I believe she said this personal planner is going to come in 2 covers. Don't quote me on that. She threw a lot of information at me as usual, and I always do my best to keep track, but I always say don't quote me, go by what her website says, because I swear there's a touch of little bit of personalities that is like the same as me, because she'll like change her mind on something and like, I'm adding this. So yes, always check her website for final details. All right, I really love this. This is so cool. I love this. And this, like the yellow, if you look around my house, I have like sunflowers and stuff like that everywhere. Yes, these are not sunflowers, but just go with me, all right? Go with me. It is not too thick. It definitely would fit in a tote bag. I mean, if you have a big purse, sure. I think it'll be a little heavy because it has some weight to it. It has some weight to it, but it is a lay flat. There you go. She's pretty. But anyways, look at that. Isn't she pretty? Creatively document your life. Isn't that nice? All right, so we have, oh, look at that, how she's laying down for me already. Thank you. We have some vision board pages with the grids. Love that. Then the same as the homeschool planner, you have some empty notebook pages. Then you have 2 pages of calendars. So maybe you want to do 2020. I was about to say 2025. Dude, it's March. Why can't I get it? It's 2026. And then maybe you want to do 2027. You have some trackers. So maybe you want to like track some habits. I don't know. Tell me what you would use these tracker pages for. Maybe for your reading, maybe your exercise, your fitness. Who knows? But then she has even more different looking trackers for you. These are cute. I like this better than this. Like, I always struggle to keep up with like these number trackers that I've seen in various but this, I like the open-endedness of this, so I dig it. And it's also lined. You can see that it's lined. A little box on the bottom as well. What the heck would I use it for? I don't know, but I like it. You also have, she kept the book list here because of course we are always reading as well. I haven't met a homeschool mom that doesn't read, but maybe they exist. But this is not only for homeschoolers, so this is non-specific to homeschool. So you have the book list here and the same pictures in the bottom. You have lists and plans for future planning. So the same idea that you have for your homeschool planner is on here. So any like vacations, trip, or just appointments or whatever it may be. But the way that this is written, it can easily be a homeschool planner. As you can see, like that works. That works for me. All right, so then you have your monthly spread, same design. Again, this is a 6x7 planner, so that's why the smaller scale. This is my perfect size planner. I'm at the stage that the full size is a little bit too much for me. Then you have notes, bars on the top. So if you're a decorative planner, you can go ahead and do that. You have plan and reflect page, just like you had before. We're gonna do it. You're gonna behave. All right, and then you have 1 through 31 on the side, so you can do some future planning and map it out. And then all your months are gonna repeat, so you have all these months in the front with this specific planner. And let's find the weeks. How about we do that? All right, we're getting to it. It's almost there. Almost. Okay, here we go. All right, so this to me, it has such a fun layout. And this can be, and I know it's intended for a specific way, but I'm gonna tell you how I would use it. I can speak. All right, so this has like a weekly overview kind of thing going on here. And then you have daily pages. It's a freaking daily planner. Y'all has 52 weeks of weekly planning, but you have space. And look, these are hour slots. Like, how did she fit this all in? I don't know. This starts from, I had to get close so you can darken these if you want, but it starts from 5 to 11. That's a lot of time there, okay? That's 5 to 11. This can be a nice weekly overview slot so you can see your week at a glance, and then daily details here. So if you want to use this as a homeschool planner, you totally could, okay? Day of the week right there with date right here. You can make it all pretty if you like. This is a lot of space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So you have 7 full daily detail pages. So this weekly layout plan actually gives you, looks to me like it gives you more space than the columns, even though this is a smaller scale, because here, let's look at the columns. You have a skinny bar. I mean, it goes down. You have a skinny bar, it goes down long, but I like the width of this. You know, I'm a narrative type of planner, sometimes, depends. I like it. I probably will ignore the time slots, but if you're using this as a personal planner, that is super helpful. Me personally, I will probably ignore it. So I do like that she kept it like super light here, so you can easily ignore it if it doesn't pertain to you. This kind of reminds me a little bit of how I would use the like Hobonichi Cousin. Reminds me a little bit of how I would use those. because I always tend to ignore that. So again, then you have the weekly layout. Again, you can circle the month, the week that you're in, weekly overview, and then the daily pages. I think it's pretty rad that it's not super thick, and you have a whole year there, like a whole year. That's badass. All right, that's so cool. All right, so let's get past all these pages. So you have that monthly overview page over here, but you're not gonna have like that weekly reflection type of thing. That monthly reflection pages or monthly planning, but not like an in between the weeks. But that would make this super massive. So let's not do that. I dig this. This layout is cool. I would love this in a dated version. I know that's a little bit trickier with like a small business and stuff because, you know, inventory and such, and, you know, if it doesn't sell. So you have the blank pages or grid for notes, and then you have the end of the planner. I would love this in a dated version. I think that would be super rad. Dated for us folks that mess up so much on undated planners. I cannot be saved from that. I love this option. I love this option. So to me, this would be my homeschool planner. I'm just out of the stage of the bigger planners. But who knows? You know, by the time I'm ready for the next school year, what I will do. This is a really rad option. I love it. Okay, so as our last portion, we're gonna have the notebook, and I'm gonna do the pen test on this one versus one of the other planners. Instead of messing with one of the planners, I'm going to mess with this one because it's the same paper. All right, so this is one of the companion notebooks, just so you can see very quickly inside. It's super pretty, so you can match it up if you just need more space to like brain dump, plan for more space to brain dump or plan for the next school year. This is 80 sheets, has a table of contents already in here, so pages and topics, and that continues on. Ooh, there's sirens, and then the rest is numbered grid pages. Now let's talk about the paper, because that's what people care about. The paper is the same as it was the year past. For the handmade edition, like I said, this is not the Amazon paper. Please do not compare it and then say, oh, this wasn't what I expected. True that, because it's not the same paper. It's not the same paper. But I will say the Amazon version performs very well. And if you're interested in seeing that kind of pen test comparison, I did it in the last year's handmade edition comparison video. And like I said, that whole playlist is linked down below. All right, I have quite a bit of stuff. First, we're gonna stick stuff to this because we're always test how we're gonna stick things to it. Let's see. Which one do we like? I kind of like that one with it. What do we think? Do I want to like liven it up with something, or do I want to stay muted? Ooh, I kind of like, no. Nope. Let's see. No, that's a little bit, do I want a little contrast? Okay, I think, what do you think? Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that one. All right. Because we're gonna tag pages, so why not? I always like to stick stuff and see how it performs. So we're gonna do that as well. I have a few options. I did pull green because I was feeling like the whole collection was giving me whimsical garden, cottage, fairy tale type of vibe, and that's what I was feeling. I have some color pencils because we always do that. We also have a block crayons because we want to see the texture. And did I tell? Okay, so these are up close. What Evan, other half, put in my box. So if you want to see what I actually did to these planners to test their durability, check out my Instagram post. This is what he put. So you know what? We're gonna use these. I'm gonna use these stickers to test their paper. This is what you did. I'm gonna do it. All right, so let's get to it. Let's do this. All right, so here comes a pen test. This is 70 pound, 104. GSM paper. So it should handle all kinds of stuff. But we always pen test because, you know, new deliveries and stuff, you always want to make sure things are closed up. Okay, so first I use a ballpoint pen. Let's start right here. This is not going to be pretty because there's a bar in the middle of me, if you guys ever wondered. Ballpoint. This is a Jetstream pen. I think this is it 1 point? No, I thought it was 0.3. No, this is the one size. There is, I will show you, there is no ghosting, no shadowing. We'll look at that each one. Now, everybody loves these Papermate. I did a whole video over on, was it? Was it here? I think it was here. With the Papermate ones, and I don't get the obsession, but people love these, so let's just do that. I don't really allow for drying time. Okay, nothing. All right, so no feathering, no bleeding, no shadowing. There's just no ghosting. There's nothing, no bleed through. All right, that's done. That one's done. Gel pen, my nemesis. I hate gel pens. This I stole from my daughter. I don't know if she's used this color before. I hate gel. Can you even see that? I know I picked the green, but can you see it? Yeah, I'm gonna like really lay that in. Is there anything on my finger? It didn't bleed, y'all. And this is the Yubi. Yeah, I'm gonna say. I looked up the pronunciation before, but now I forgot it. Gel pen. I like them better than other gel pens because they're not as wet. She likes them. She likes drawing with them too. I don't really care for gel pens. So there's your gel. All right, let's dip it up. All right, so this is an EC double marker. So if you know anything about them, they're pretty wet and saturated. I haven't used this in a while, so this may be a mess. Okay. Let's see. Sucking it in, friends. And now this paper is not as gritty as it doesn't have as much tooth as an EC paper, but it's not as smooth as like a plum paper that is just too smooth for me. It's kind of like in between. It's luxurious. It sucks it in. It doesn't like sit on top of the paper, so that's nice. That is a fine marker. Nothing. Let's step it up. Okay, so this is a Lyra aqua brush. Did it say this is watercolor paper? No. Am I gonna try it anyways? Of course. Hi. I think it has a double point. Wait. Hello. I know everybody like writes like what they are. Wait, here. If you really must know. I just write nonsense. Nothing. All right, this is a true test because this is dark. This is dark. All right, ready? I see nothing, friends. I think you can see a tiny bit of ghosting. And I have a light shining right at this. So for the naked eye, not really unless you look like really, really close. Not too shabby. Let's see what other mess can I get in trouble with here. I have, yes, we're gonna do highlighters. Okay, let's get the green one. Let's do that. Okay, so this is the eye marker. I got this from Jet Pens. I love this. This is like my favorite ever. It's super rich. It doesn't forgive. it ate it. It ate it. So you can still no bleed through. You can see a little bit of that ghosting, but it's very, very slight. And that's because I'm being extra picky. Let's take a mile liner. People love these. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Mile liner. And why do you rub it across, Arlene? I want to see if it feathers, if it bleeds, if the paper sucks it up. There's right there. I can see a tiny bit where my hand was a little bit heavy-handed. And you can see a little bit more ghosting on that tiny little point there. Let's see. All right, let's go wild. Let's go wild. This is a Sharpie. Did you say Sharpie? Yes. I did a watercolor last year. I actually like watercolored on this because why not? Why not? Dang it, still didn't bleed. What the heck? I want you to feather. I want something to fail. This is no fun. I can't make anything fail. Oh, okay. Not Sharpie approved. All right, so there is, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's a Sharpie, and there is a tiny bit, I mean, it's still dry on this end, but you can see where it wants to bleed through a little bit. Can you see? Can you see? All right, there. I mean, I haven't met anything that survives a Sharpie, but we're gonna try it anyways. But is that all? I'll say the worst for last. These are very rich. These are Boss Original, Sallow Boss markers. So we're sticking with green. That's the vibe. And they're pretty saturated. And that one needs like maybe a second to dry. And I can see that that one is a little wet, so it wants to bleed through a little bit, but it still hasn't. A little bit. So with something like super like this, my eyeliner did great. Even this, the white markers did great. The Stabilo, I think at certain point, if you keep going over and over, you may bump into an issue. Let's try the other green. Why I keep going green? Because that's what we're doing. It's there. It's still fine. Let's go over some writing. If you could slide. And I think I would not use these, even though they're fine. If you do not like ghosting, I think eventually these will ghost a little bit more than the other highlighters. Just saying. All right, so let's go wild. These are Posca. I tried to get the green one, but it wasn't prime yet. Again, why not? This is legit paint, okay? This is straight like paint. Oh, I told you I was going crazy. All right, it didn't even, okay, so the biggest offender was the Sharpie. Look at the Posca. It can handle a Posca. How? How? Yes, I'm gonna do it again. I don't even see ghosting with the Posca. That's not fair. I thought I was gonna torture Megan. All right, let's try to torture another way. All right, so that for the pen test, let's stick some stuff on it and see how the paper acts. It's told me not to step here. All right, so what I'm looking for on planners is sometimes we mess up, right? I don't even know what kind of stickers these are. So this may be a little, and these are, ooh, these are super sticky. Let's see if we rip the paper. So this is not like regular planner stickers. This is like some heavy duty stuff. What do you think? Okay, are we torturing you now, Megan? How about you, Evan? Is this painful? Let's try. Oh my gosh, it's like peeling off so slowly. So what you get for telling me what to do. I step what I want to step on. Man, it didn't rip a thing and it's still smooth. All right, so you can tell by the friction of how hard that was. This is not regular sticker paper. This was like some joke, inside joke thing that they sent me. And this is like super sticky. Let's see if I can find a regular sticker somewhere. But let's do the flags. And these are pretty adhered. These are like some regular Amazon flags. Yes, I'll keep sticking it everywhere. First, like how well does it stick on the paper, like if it's too slick or whatever, and then how many times I can do it over and over. Yes, on here, just for memories. All right, so let's see how, oh no, let's get green. Let's see how the texture looks if you like to color your planner. That's my thing. These are old. That's pretty, that's smooth, that's nice. And I used several different types of crayons last year. We're not gonna spend too much time on that. These are beeswax stock mark crayons. I'll get some Lyra Furby. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that smooth. Look how smooth it looks. It's not bumpy or grainy. Just love that. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. That's make me happy. It brings me joy. I can keep doing this. I think you guys are done, right though? Right? You're done. You're done. All right. That is it for me today. Okay. Make sure to join her Facebook group because there's all kinds of info there. Yeah, I have like all his notes. This is all like in my box, trying to keep me from breaking the spines. I mean, it's flat laid now. Why can't I just step on it? I did. I still did. He said not to step on it. He said nothing about not dancing on it. So that's exactly what I did. All right, friends. So you have 2 new cover options for the homeschool planner. You have 3 different layouts to choose from that I showed you about. There is companion notebooks. There's this new personal planner that is a 6x7 size. There's goodies. She has stickers, all kinds of different stationery things. Check it out and happy shopping. Let me know what was your favorite and what you're planning on grabbing during this launch season. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you love torturing Megan as much as I do, give her a shout out and send her stomping. Or you know what? I should have done the watercolors this time too. Maybe we will do it again. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.